Well, a critical one-of-a-kind resource for vulnerable populations in Eugene, Whitebird's front rooms permanently closed on Friday.
You think about Whitebird Clinic as a whole, but then you realize that it's really just like that lives within front rooms. The consensus, the soul, it has all lived within front rooms, and that's a realization that I've had to have with this being dissolved, is that I hope not, but it feels like it entirely is, and it feels like we're losing an aspect of ourselves.
This unexpected development, officially announced by Whitebird's executive director on November 21st, has left employees and clients grappling with uncertainty over how essential services will be sustained in our community. Several employees, some of whom were in the middle of union negotiations, shared how this closure will impact employees and their clients.
I feel really grateful to have been a part of Whitebird for as long as I have.
And I don't know what's going to happen on Monday to our clients, and I don't know what's going to happen to the soul and the energy and everything that lives within Whitebird lives within us. And where's that going to go?
Whitebird Clinic's employees grieving the loss of their jobs and the soul of a historically radical organization. Front Rooms has long provided zero-barrier support to people experiencing homelessness and poverty since 1970. In fact, it was the very first iteration of Whitebird Clinic. Employees say the services they provide and the philosophy behind them are not just a lifeline for their clients, but a bridge to stability and hope.
All of the magic and the really special programming from Whitebird Clinic came from the Front Rooms.
The Front Rooms offers mail services, hygiene supplies, clothing, crisis support, and much more. They say it's the only service of its kind in Oregon, providing a wide range of help without any barriers. Workers were caught off guard by the announcement, and many are expressing frustration at the short closing timeline of 3 weeks and what they call a lack of transparency.
I really wished there had been at least a little bit more time to have some discussions around how the closure would go about.
9 employees are now laid off. They were in the middle of union negotiations with the clinic. Even though the clinic's executive director, Jeremy Gates, denies the closure constitutes as union busting, some workers are skeptical. The now former Whitebird employees say this closure follows a pattern seen in other healthcare facilities, namely the University District Hospital and the Hourglass Crisis Center, whose unionized employees were in the middle of bargaining when they were laid off or had just ratified their contracts.
You have to notice that unionizing workers in these kinds of fields are really going through it, kind of really going through the ringer as the conditions on the streets continue to deteriorate, and our jobs continue to be underpaid, and the crisis of capitalism just continues to escalate.
The mail service, described as a critical resource for survival, is one of the most concerning aspects of the closure. Its hours will be significantly reduced. For those living on the streets, missing a mail pickup could mean missing a paycheck. Almost 3,000 people depend on Front Rooms' mail service.
Mail is a form of connection that people have, and they're connecting with people who are trained in how to engage with underserved populations, with people who are on the streets, in a 50-year continuity of training, basically. We have relationships with clients that go back decades,
Employees say the closure is expected to have far-reaching ripple effects. They say without access to these services, people may turn to theft or other desperate measures to meet their basic needs. Another major concern is a potential rise in overdose deaths. Front Room's staff members reverse multiple overdoses per week.
I'm scared that there'll never be another place like this, and we are losing it. We're losing one of the last places, it feels like, in the world to me, where we can make change and make the world better.
With the Front Rooms closing, it's unknown how the legacy of Whitebird will change. In Eugene, Tiffany Lewis reporting.